All right, fam. It has been a very, very long time since we got together, since we created a video, and since we had a chat. In the meantime, Christmas came and gone, the new year started. A lot of stuff is going on, and right now we're dealing with COVID-19. So, a lot of the advice that is coming from the WHO, the World Health Organization, is to direct countries to get employees and people to stay at home as much as possible if they could. And so, as a result, I actually, I'm very, very thrilled with this. As a result, I figured, if you're going to be staying at home, well, there are other ways to be able to keep yourself entertained. At the same time, there are other ways to be able to even earn some funds. One of the things that I talked to you guys about in the beginning with when we were doing the trials of the beta testing of Gods Unchained was the fact that this is a game that allows you to be able to play on the blockchain and be able to earn some funds. So, without further ado, I'm going to go over some of the new developments that have shown up in the game. Now, the game has changed a lot. There's been a lot of development, backstories, there's a lot of different layers now. The game is evolving, and there's a lot of people on it playing right now. So, this is one of the coolest things that, is you can do. Basically, in terms of gaming, this is one of the coolest things that you can do. You do not have to go playing Fortnite all the time, to get some stuff. You can actually play Gods Unchained and get good at it. So one of the things that's changed, if you go into the main blog, so over here you can see here blog.godsunchained.com. There is a lot. I'm not going to go through every single one of these here because there's a lot of information, a lot of changes. As you can see over here, there's a lot of changes. So you can go over to the blog. I'll leave the description and the link to the blog below in the video, so you can actually go there and peruse it for yourself. But I just wanted to highlight a few things with the changes that came. One of the things that happened was the introduction of the Citadel of the Gods. I actually saw a video with Andrea Davis talking about this. Citadel of the Gods is essentially they started kind of putting together the story about the whole Gods Unchained universe, the mythology behind it, so you can understand the characters, how they're interplaying, and all that kind of good stuff. So this is a really cool read. Go through the article, and you understand what the Citadel of the Gods are. So one of the cool things that I like about Gods Unchained is that every single facet is being blogged and documented. So that allows any new user to the ecosystem to understand what is going on. Another thing that was added is the Trial of the Gods. This is an expansion set that featured 150 cards, I believe 151 cards over here. That brings in a whole new dynamic, a whole new facet to the game. So essentially now there are multiple levels. So the initial game we had the 8 gods, right? Were they 8 or 6? I'll have to double check. Anyways, we had the gods. Those are the Gods Unchained. And then with adding the Citadel of the Gods and then Trial of the Gods expansion, essentially they added another layer. Now the gods have champions, and so so each god has a champion. So right now we're looking at, I believe this is Orfeo, and Orfeo is the champion of deception. And so basically, this is another cool read. You can go through it. Now, one of the things that they do is that Gods Unchained actually got some, channels going. So they actually create their own videos, so you can actually follow it as well. So this is a pretty short read, and you can get, it's a 2-minute read. It's not a long read. You can go through that. But this is the main place that I wanted us to focus on today. Flux and fusing, play to earn returns. Now, this is what changes the game. It changes Gods Unchained. It makes it a game that is more akin to Magic the Gathering, in that as you play, as you get cards, you can now fuse your cards together to become permanently new cards that are a little bit more powerful. That's one thing. The second thing is that you actually get to own them. So when you start the game, you get some core cards. Those core cards you can use to basically build your decks up, so you can start winning games and getting cards and whatnot. Once you have gotten those cards, sometimes you're gonna get a multiple amount. So to fuse, you need two of the same cards to fuse, and then you are able to monetize that. That fused card becomes a permanent fuse on the blockchain, and you own that. Now, this is one of the nice little paragraphs that I like about this particular blog post that they did. Right now it says there's a common misconception that gaming is a poor time investment. Admittedly, you don't often get real world value from your efforts in a game unless you're an esports fiend, that is. But play to earn is a concept that is set to change this, and as season 1 draws closer, we're taking the next big step towards monetizing your playtime by introducing core market fusing. So the Flux, basically you can think of Flux as currency essentially. So within the ecosystem of Gods Unchained, Flux becomes the currency of fusing. So in order to be able to fuse two cards together, you need some Flux. So as you play, you're going to be able to get Flux. Now, Clay and his compatriots, they actually put up this really cool video that you can check out. Then again, I'm also going to put in the link to the Flux fusing blog post to the video description so that you can actually go directly to it. But there is a lot of facets to it. So essentially every single day there's a reset of what is known as the Gauntlet of the Gods. So the Gauntlet of the Gods, when you start the day, you basically click on begin, and then it gives you a time counter. And then the counter basically is 24 hours. So within that 24 hours, you try to win as many games as possible, and it rewards versatility. So the idea is that if you're able to play with a multiple of the gods, like, so there's like 6 gods, there you go. So there's 6 gods. If you're able to play with 6 gods, you can play with the same god to earn Flux for a maximum of 3 times, and then so because there's 6 gods, you can actually earn Flux a maximum of 18 games, 3 per each god, right? And this is the chart of Flux. So the first god, first win, you get 4 Flux. Second win, you get 5. Third win, you get 6. And then the second god, and so on and so on and so on. So as you can see, as you like going around the circle with different gods, your reward increases. And so potentially you have, like, depending on the player ranking, there are these are the projected minimum and maximum outcomes at launch. Flux awarded for bronze rank full gauntlet is 65, and then Flux awarded for mythic rank full gauntlet is 1310. So of course you want to play to get to mythic, because if you play to look at the difference for a full, like, rank at bronze, you're only getting 65. So think of this in a sense like you're mining, right? It's like mining. So the stronger your miner, the better rewards you get. And in this case, the strength of the miner is essentially the rank. So if you're bronze, your miner is not very strong. If you're mythic, then your miner is super strong, and so you're earning Flux. And if you're mythic, playing on a daily basis, 1310 Flux. Look, if you play for, like, what, I don't know, 10 days, you're looking at over 13,000 Flux, which is a lot, which allows you to fuse, like, your cards to be able to create stronger cards. So this is like a little video of how the fusing works. And you can, like, the cards that you see when you go to the forge are cards that have at least 2 cards, so you can fuse them. And it says that if you have 2 identical playing cards, you can spend Flux to fuse them into an upgraded meteorite version of that card. So essentially, once you start fusing cards, this is how you can technically even play up to maybe get to mythic. So amount of Flux required to fuse core cards differs depending on your card's rarity level. So common cards is going to cost 20 Flux, rare cards is going to cost 40 Flux, epic is going to be 120, and legendary cards is going to be 200 Flux. So as you can see, Flux is become the currency of the game. So essentially, the more Flux you can accumulate, the more things you can do in the game, the more valuable you can make your cards in the game, and therefore be able to sell it for a better amount of money because of the flux. So this is actually pretty cool. It is really, really cool. Like the concept of crypto, the concept of including, I guess, a monetary system within the game that it's within its own right, not Ethereum. Well, as you know, Gods Unchained is built on the Ethereum network, so it's not built on Ethereum, but it runs on the Ethereum network. So Ethereum is the main currency, right? But that you can use to buy. A lot of people trading in Ethereum, but at the end of the day, within the game itself, now they've introduced this new currency, which is Flux. It makes it very exciting, which basically means that the more you play, the more Flux you earn. And Flux is now currency, and then I foresee a future where Flux could be treated as its own right, as its own currency. Could you imagine if you have 20 million Flux? Well, yeah, 20 million Flux based on where and supply and demand, how Flux is going to be basically translated into dollar amounts. It means that you're going to be able to, directly, maybe at some future date, trade Flux. I don't know. This is just speculation on my part. All that being said, let's go back into the actual game and see if we could create a match. So the interface has changed a bit. Here, there's a lot more information. They have the official YouTube channel has been launched. There's an official Twitch channel. I don't know if they have a Mixer channel yet. So I don't know. Maybe I might start putting some of my stuff on Mixer. Who knows? Now, the interface, as you can see, is very similar. The last video that I did, episode 9. This is episode 10, by the way. The last video that I did, you guys recall, that was when they were doing that switch. Beta ended and everything got reset to not. So I was at like literally level 0. That within a few days that actually kind of settled. So I got some cards. I didn't get all my cards back. Like I had about 256 cards, I believe, and I got only about maybe 100 of them back. And since then I've been playing. I was at level 18 at the time, and now I've been able to play my way back to level 16. In my last few matches, I actually got my ass handed to me many times. I lost, but I am retraining myself as to the correct way of building decks and strategies involved to building a good deck. There are so many different blog posts and articles that they have put out to assist you to be able to build a proper deck. So this is going to be something that you might want to check out if you want to actually get into the nitty-gritty of building a good deck. Now, so all that being said, so this is what the forge looks like. Let me go into the forge. This is what a forge looks like. When you go in there, it says to connect your wallet. I haven't connected my Ethereum wallet yet, but I will be doing so shortly. And also, I haven't actually checked out Trader. I don't have anything that I'm selling. So this is basically the place where if you're selling a forged item, you could, place that. Sell an item, you can click it and then you can sell a forged item. So that's pretty much it. Like it's like a wallet at the same time. The ecosystem, it's just the way the design is done is just so beautiful. Now let's see if we can get a game going, and I want to see how all of this plays out so you guys can see. Oh, by the way, also over here it says gather Flux. So every day it resets. If you click on it, it says win a game to unlock your gauntlet. So you're gonna go and it says so you win rank constructed games. You unlock gods as you move around the circle. Earn Flux, fuse identical cards into a better version. Enter the forge, use Flux to fuse identical cards into better versions, and sell cards in the marketplace for Ether. It's just like insane, because what I like about this, it's not like esports where it's being dictated by the competition. So like if you go to, I don't know, a Fortnite game where you're in a competition with other people playing Fortnite, well, your earnings are dictated literally by whatever the purse is, right? So yeah, so far the purses have been pretty significant. So it gives the incentive for teams to play, and also the arenas and everything is pretty exciting. But I foresee a future where games like Gods Unchained are gonna have the same sort of you know, viewership, as in people will want to sit down and watch it like an esports type game where people go and watch Magic the Gathering games being played live, right? So I foresee the same thing happening with Gods Unchained. And yeah, so basically, but what I was trying to get to was the fact that you're controlling your own economy in a sense, because you're controlling how much you play. You're controlling, you know, how much flux you can earn based on how much you play, right? And then as you're winning and earning more cards, well, guess what? You can fuse them to, like, you know, some crazy cards. I've seen some crazy fuses coming up, and those become essentially unique type cards where you can put them up and sell them, and some people are gonna want to have this. So anyways, without further ado, I'm gonna click on begin because we're past midnight Eastern Standard Time. And so I started my gauntlet. I will have 23 hours to finish the gauntlet. So if I go back in there, it doesn't show it to me here. I'm just gonna go ahead and click on begin, and I believe the gauntlet begins after you win your first game. So it says win a game to unlock your gauntlet. Okay, yeah, it begins after you win your first game. So let's start. Hopefully we can get a match that we can be able to set this up with. Okay, getting a match right away. Oh, and another thing as well is that when you're starting, you know, these landing pages are also introduced, so you can actually have a little, like, you know, waiting kind of like picture. It's actually kind of cool. It didn't exist before, and it gives you a little bit of blurb about the god that you're looking at. So as you guys know, I like to play nature. I normally like to leech. You know what? All the wins that I've had have been leech in life. So you know what? Just for good old measure, I'm just gonna keep with my leech and confirm. Okay, so everything is good. I'm gonna keep these cards. So I'm playing Magic.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Best of luck.
All right. So it's his turn. Let's see how he starts. So just another side note, the deck, this particular deck, I built it like an aggro deck that would allow me to be able to later on kind of get a little bit of control as well. So a lot of my stuff is weighted between 1 and 2 mana. So let's see. Okay, so let's try with the Weekend Warrior right there.
I've done all that I can.
Okay, pass it over to him. Here it's saying that his rank is 4, but he's level 22. So
My turn.
we'll see. Front line. Okay, still can't play it, but at least I could actually play this and then augment him up. Just have burn. Just by this gets 1. I don't want to burn, so let's take this out. Okay. I don't have protection yet, but I'm sure I'll be getting that on the next one. He's protecting himself. Okay, that's fine.
Awaken.
Okay, so that's a perfect one to play right now. But I am going to actually seek protection, and then at the same time I am going to take him out.
There is a frontline creature in the way.
Okay, so here I will take this to take him out. Both of us are out, and now I will use this to take him out. Okay. Next, please.
It's sad to see you so focused on what is ultimately a fruitless endeavor.
That's deadly.
My turn.
Okay. Oh, I love the fact that I can get this one here. So let's see, I have 4. I need 2 here and 3. So if I go here to leech life, deal 2 damage and gain 1 health. Right? And then I can go ahead and take him out. Okay, pass it back. Okay, that's fine.
Answer the call. For now, I must rest.
I could have actually taken him out easily. That's okay. I have a front line, so that was probably something that I probably should have just watched first. Could have taken him out, and then I wouldn't have to worry about him. Okay. Now he has a front line, so I have to deal with his front line.
My turn.
Okay. 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 So basically we have the same front line. If he's gonna have to take me out, that results in essentially the same sort of thing. Oh man, he has one of those. Okay.
Answer the call.
Alright. So that is 2 and that is 4. So I need to protect myself against his onslaught, and I also need to give myself, so I have true fronts and I can attack behind, so that's good. Okay, let's pass that over back to him. Like, he doesn't have any front lines, so I can bypass this. I don't have to touch him. Oh, that's a front. Okay, I can take care of that. And that's a flank. Okay, that's fine. I can take care of that. So let's see how he's gonna play this one. That's fine. Okay. Oh, he can flank it, so he can go around.
Awaken.
Alright. So, what I'm gonna do, let's see here.
Like watching grass grow.
Okay, gonna attack that right here. Took him out. Come out.
I have seen your future. You die.
My turn.
I give him 2.
There is a frontline creature in the way. I can't target hidden creatures. We all have our limitations.
Okay. Okay. So let's see. He's now no longer hitting. I still have another front line I can bring up. Let's see what he does. See, this is one part of the thing that is a little bit, it's a little bit of a fault with the deck that I created, because it's an aggro deck, but after like a few rounds, if the other guy has more of a control deck, then I'm screwed, because he's gonna have a lot more powerful creatures than I do. So it's hard to kill them. So this is one of the things that I'm gonna fix with the deck. I still like nature, but it's one of the things I'm gonna fix with the deck, because it's like it's a fault of the deck. So far I've used it a few games and I've been losing because of that. Like, because the aggression, especially if they have good front lines in the beginning, I'm not able to target the god. So I basically have to kind of, you know.
My turn.
So here, and also this is another thing as well. If you let the clock run out, you don't get a lot of time anymore. You know what? Let me just drop this. That was kind of useless. Take this guy out. Let's see if I could take him out, and then let's see if I could start dealing some damage. And do I have? No, I don't. Okay, so let's try to save myself.
Expand your mind.
Is that a front line? No. This has Raw, it's an Amazon. Alien Beast. And backline deal 2 damage. Amazon Spear. Okay, so drop the Amazon Spear. Drop that front line. Forge. Okay. None of them are front line, so I don't have to even touch them. Okay, here. Use this to break that, and then and now just start hitting it on. Right there. Boom. Is this? No, it's not. Okay, so let's move on to the next round. I'm gonna now start using Leech to basically build back my power behind the front lines, because I have 2 front lines now. They're gonna have to go through them before they can touch my god, so I'll have enough time to build up the power a bit, so I could be able to I removed his flank, so he's not gonna be able to go behind my
Until
man.
the next life.
Holy smoke, that just wiped me out. I didn't anticipate that.
Answer the call.
Damn, I didn't anticipate that at all. Okay, that's fine. Forage, take him out, and then drop him in. At least I can start
Growth
attacking.
requires patience. Nothing I can't handle. My turn.
So this is not a front line, so I could still try to attack him. Okay. There's nothing else I can do, so I kind of have to wait. He can take me out easily, and nothing happens. But I think that is a front line, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, that's a front line. I think that's a front line. But
Awaken.
okay, I'm gonna play this route. I'm going to. Okay, and that's a front line. I'll use it on this guy.
There is a frontline creature in the way.
I didn't play that well. I should have
feeble
actually.
attempt.
I should have actually took out this guy. Deal 5 damage. Holy smoke, that's it. Alright guys, that's all she wrote. Defeat. So like I said, the deck had some flaws. It has some flaws with regards to the setup. It's aggro in the beginning and there's no mid, and it's basically gets like bamboozled. So it hasn't been very successful. I'm gonna have to go back to the drawing board and get that checked. But at least you guys got a little bit of a taste of what some of the new changes are. If you like this video, go ahead and subscribe, hit that like button, and then hit that notification button so that when a new video comes, you be notified of it. Thank you guys so much for taking the time to watch the video, and hopefully I'm gonna be able to be back on track and back on schedule with more videos coming up shortly. I know it was quite a while waiting, but anyways, thank you so much. Have a great evening and see you on the next one. Bye, guys.
Yeah!